Hello, and welcome to the EC Home Improvement Contractor Training Program. My name is Bob Jameson, and I'll be your host through this part of the training. During the next few minutes, we'll be taking a close look at this exciting new financing program being offered through your local electric cooperative. We'll also explain who qualifies for a loan, what the loan terms and conditions are, the types of eligible products, what forms you'll need to complete, and how the lending process works. Now, don't worry. I know it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. In fact, that's one of the great things about EC Home Improvement. It's easy to understand and follow, but just to be on the safe side, all of the information contained on this video can also be found in your ECHI information packet. Just what is EC Home Improvement? For your customers, it's a fast, easy, and low-cost way for them to make all those energy-efficient home improvements they may have been putting off. Now, with the help of their local electric co-op, making these improvements becomes much more affordable. They'll not only save money on the financing, but the home improvements they make will also help reduce their energy costs for years to come. As a contractor, it's another tool you can use to make it easier for your customers to buy your products and services. The easier it is for them to buy, the more sales you close. And we all know what that means. The bottom line is, EC Home Improvement is good for everyone. To help us learn more about EC Home Improvement, we've been invited into Mrs. Tinley's home. Mrs. Tinley is using ECHI to finance a new electric heat pump. Jim Martin of Martin & Son Contracting has just finished installing the heat pump, and he's offered to answer some questions about the program. They're expecting us, so let's go say hello. Good morning.
Why, good morning, Bob. Come on in.
Thanks, Mrs. Tinley. Where's Jim?
He's in the kitchen going over some paperwork. Follow me?
Thanks. Hey, Jim, how's it going?
Fine, Bob. Glad you could make it.
Jim was just about to go over a couple things with me about the new heat pump.
We'll just be a couple of minutes, if that's all right.
Sure, go ahead.
All right.
That'll give me time to provide some background on EC Home Improvement. You're probably wondering, how did this program get started and who's sponsoring it? Well, a company called the National Cooperative Services Corporation, also known as NCSC, will handle all of the financing for this program. NCSC is a financial corporation that's owned by the nation's rural electric cooperatives. The Pittsburgh National Corporation, or PNC, will be servicing the program. They've been in business for over 25 years, and they're known nationwide for providing top-quality customer service. Next, there's your local electric cooperative. They're the folks who'll be sponsoring you, the contractor, and they administer the program locally. They'll be your main point of contact and will provide you with the loan applications and contract forms that you'll need. And let's not forget you, the contractor. You'll be in homes like this one, doing the energy efficiency improvement work. You'll also be the main line of communication between your customers and EC Home Improvement through the application and contract process. More about that later. As for the terms and conditions of the loans, they're pretty straightforward. The amount of an EC Home Improvement loan can range from $1,000 to $15,000. That gives you and your customers quite a range to work with in selecting products that best fit their needs. The term, or the amount of time that a customer has to pay back the loan, can be as short as 12 months or as long as 5 years. Loans for more than $5,000 qualify for terms up to 10 years. The interest rate is fixed for the life of the loan. That means your customers will be making the same payment every month.
I like that idea. With an adjustable rate, I never knew how much I was going to have to pay from one month to the next. I just feel more comfortable being able to set aside a certain amount for each payment.
Most of the customers I've talked to feel the same way you do, Mrs. Tinley. They also like the fact that the loan can be repaid in full at any time without penalty. That's another benefit to the customer. Jim, when we spoke on the phone yesterday, you said that Mrs. Tinley was not your first EC Home Improvement customer.
That's right, Bob. We've gotten quite a few customers from advertising that the co-op has done. It's really been like free publicity for us.
Which leads me right to my next question. Who's eligible for this program?
Actually, just about anyone. The ground rules are pretty simple. First, in order to apply for an EC Home Improvement loan, the customer must own the home.
In other words, people who rent can't apply for this loan.
Right. It's only open to homeowners. Second, all of the work must be done by a contractor sponsored by the local electric cooperative. and the equipment the contractor installs must meet certain eligibility requirements. Contractors get a list of qualifying products when they sign up for the program. And third, upgrades can be done for any kind of home, provided it sits on a permanent foundation.
So, for example, owners of manufactured homes can also apply for an EC Home Improvement loan.
Absolutely, as long as it has a permanent foundation. That means that both the wheels and hitch must be removed. In this case, cinder blocks are considered permanent. And here's something that, as a contractor, I was particularly interested in. This program is open to any homeowner, not just those who are members of the sponsoring co-op.
You mean even people who get their electricity from another utility are eligible for this program?
Exactly. It doesn't matter where their electric service comes from. If the customer uses a contractor sponsored by a participating co-op, they can apply for an EC Home Improvement loan. Now, this was a big advantage because it opened up a whole new customer base for me. And since the loans are only available through participating contractors, it gives me a leg up on the competition.
Now, a moment ago, you mentioned eligible equipment. What exactly did you mean? Are there certain brands that customers have to use?
No, not at all. When I signed on as a qualified contractor with My Electric Co-op, they provided me with a list of products that were eligible for loans. Things like electric heating units, air conditioners, electric water heaters, geothermal units, insulation and window or door replacements. They're all on the list. I used the list to help my customers select products that not only meet their needs, but fit their budget as well. Chances are the contractors in your audience have a similar list in their packets.
Now, the packets also contain the loan application form, just like the one you're using for this job. May I see it for a moment?
Sure.
Well, I don't know about you, Jim, but anytime I have to fill out an application, it always makes me a bit uneasy. How tough are these to complete?
They're not tough at all, Bob. In fact, it's so simple, I usually fill out the application at the customer's home. Take Mrs. Tinley, for example. On my first visit, after I had gone over my recommendations and given her an estimate for the work, I explained to her that our local electric cooperative was offering a new low-cost financing program for homeowners making energy efficiency upgrades.
Turns out I'd already heard something about EC Home Improvement from my sister. She financed her central air conditioning through them.
That brings up another point, Jim. What happens if your customer hasn't heard of EC Home Improvement? Is it difficult to sell them on the idea?
It is easier if they've already heard about ECHI. This financing program is such a good deal that if my customer knows about it, there's a good chance they're already planning on using it. If they haven't heard about it, well, then I show them the brochure that the co-op provides. It explains everything the customer needs to know about the program and how it works.
Okay, so Mrs. Tinley decided to finance through EC Home Improvement, and you and Mrs. Tinley filled out the application form together. And what sort of information do you need to put on the application?
It asks for things like the applicant's name, whether the applicant is the homeowner, and who their electric supplier is. It also asks for the estimated loan amount, the term of the loan, and the product or service that's being financed. Once Mrs. Tinley and I completed the application portion of the form, I called EC Home Improvement at their toll-free 800 number. I told the service representative who I was, and she asked me for my dealer number. Now, that's a sort of PIN number that all qualified ECHI contractors have. You get one when you sign up for the program. The service rep then asked for the information that we had put on the application. Well, it just took a moment to repeat it over the phone, and get this. Within minutes, the ECHI service rep told me that the Tinley's loan application had been approved.
I really was surprised. Jim was on the phone less than 10 minutes. You said they approved those applications fast, but that was incredible.
Once the application has been approved by ECHI, the service representative will give you a loan application number. Now, this is an important number. You'll need it when you call back for the truth in lending information. There's a space provided for it on the form. After you've finished the job, you fill out the work completion section of the application. All they ask for here is what equipment was replaced and what you replaced it with. This form requires both your signature and that of your customer, so make sure you don't leave any blank lines. Put NA for not applicable on any line that doesn't apply. When you sign the work completion section, you're stating that all of the work has been completed and was done in accordance with all applicable codes. The loan applicant, in this case Mrs. Tinley, also signs the form verifying that the work has been completed to her satisfaction.
An important point to remember, Bob, is that the loan approval is only locked in for 45 days. That means that the work must be completed and all contracts need to be signed within 45 days of loan approval. If the work isn't done within that period, you have to go back through the entire process all over again.
So it's better to get all the work done within that 45-day period.
In most cases, that's not a problem.
What do you do next, Jim?
Well, this is the part that I make sure I don't miss, because without it, I don't get paid. It's called the Retail Installment Contract, and it's included in the financing packet. In fact, I was completing it when you arrived. On the contract, you fill in the customer's name and address, your company's name and address, and a description of the equipment that was installed. There's also a space to add the application number you got when the loan was approved. You fill in the amount being financed and the term of the loan, and you decide on the monthly billing cycle for the loan.
Could I mention something?
Of course.
I just wanted to point out that being able to choose the time of month to pay the loan is really a nice option because it lets me coordinate the loan payment with my other bills. It makes it a lot more convenient since I can select a payment date that fits my needs.
That's a good point. I'm sure that most homeowners would agree that it's a real advantage to be able to coordinate their monthly bill payments. So what happens after you've finished filling out the contract, Jim?
Once you've completed this form, you call the 800 number again and give the information to the ECHI service representative. And they'll walk you through the truth in lending numbers, telling you what number to put in each box. Then you and the customer sign and date the contract. But since it's a toll-free number and the customer has to sign the form, I usually make the call right from the customer's house.
And what do you do with the contract after you both signed it?
I give the bottom copy of both the application and the contract to the customer. I mail the original top copy of the application and the contract, along with a copy of the invoice, directly to ECHI in the pre-addressed envelope that the electric co-op provides. And I keep the middle copy of both forms for my records. After ECHI reviews the material, they mail the customer a coupon book and send me a check.
I really can't tell you how simple and easy the financing for this heat pump was. Jim did all the paperwork right here, and the loan was approved before he got off the phone.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Tinley, for inviting us into your house today.
It was a pleasure, and I'm very pleased with Jim's work. In fact, I've recommended him to a number of people.
While Jim is finishing up here, why don't you take a couple of minutes to review your EC Home Improvement packet? The moderator will be glad to answer any questions you might have. Turn this tape off when you see the intermission sign, and when you've finished reviewing the material, turn the tape back on. We'll see you in a few minutes. Jim, I understand that the EC Home Improvement Program has a provision to help you with your marketing efforts. It's called the Contractor Buy-Down Agreement. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I sure am. In fact, we're going to be offering a special on air conditioners next month using the contractor buy-down provision.
Can you tell me how it works?
Yeah, sure. Now, with this provision, ECHI lets the contractor buy down the interest rate on the loan. In other words, instead of offering customers like Mrs. Tinley the standard ECHI rate, I can offer her a lower rate. For example, 5%.
How do you do that?
Do you remember when we were talking about the second time I called the 800 number?
Yeah, when you called for the truth in lending numbers, right?
Right. Well, at that time, I could have told the service representative that I wanted to buy down the loan. Once I told her how much I wanted to put down, she would have given me a new interest rate for the customer. The more money I put down, the lower the rate. For example, let's say one of the manufacturers that I work with offers me a rebate for each unit of theirs that I install. Well, I could use that money to buy down or lower my customer's finance rate.
Okay.
Or maybe I want to lower the interest rate to a certain percent. Well, then the ECHI service rep could have told me how much it would cost to buy it down. And that's what we're doing in our new ad campaign next month. Buy an air conditioning unit from Martin & Son this month and pay only 5% interest. It sounds okay, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, either way, the buy-down option makes my products more affordable for my customers. And that can make all the difference in closing the deal.
How do you pay the buy-down? Do you need to provide the money up front?
Now, that's another great thing. In both cases, the cost for the buy-down is deducted from the payment check that ECHI sends me. So I don't need to prepay the amount.
Thanks for explaining the buy-down process for us, Jim. And thanks for your time. You've been very helpful.
Hey, no problem. And like I said, this program's helped me close a few deals. So I'm more than happy to pass what I know on to others. Hey, good luck out there.
Well, that's it. As you've seen, EC Home Improvement is a great program. By providing low-cost financing for energy-efficient upgrades to the home, it makes these improvements more affordable, saves your customers money, reduces energy needs, improves customer relations through the electric cooperatives, and helps build your business. I think you'll agree it really is a winner all the way around. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact your local electric cooperative. They'll be glad to help.